Hello everyone, it's that time. It is that time of the night. The end of the week. We're starting a new week tomorrow. Some of us barely survived this one. Okay. Hi everyone. Just waiting for, sorry, I'm typing something. When I type something, it's so awkward. Okay. Okay. Well, Adrian is already here. What an eager little you-know-what. She's very obsessed with me. It's like, oh my gosh, like, why are you so obsessed with me, Adrian? Oh no. Look at me. Can you see me? Who did that?
It wasn't me. It was somebody
That loves me.
giving you too much attention. Where is my inhaler? Buddy. Gosh.
Oh, hold on.
Giving you too much attention. Where is my inhaler? Buddy. Gosh.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Okay, hi,
Are you? Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm at my parents' house.
That sounds amazing and lovely. What are you doing there? Tell me all about it, because there's like a war happening upstairs right now.
Well, let's see. What's happening here, Mom?
Hi, Adrian's mom.
It's Kate.
I've never met your mom, which is really crazy to think.
Oh, she's very nice. Where are you going, Mom?
I'm going to bed.
That sounds amazing.
Aren't you envious?
Very envious. Today's a terrible day.
Cooper would say, "Don't go to bed, Mom."
Yeah.
But
I'll leave y'all with Dad.
Okay. Dad's watching the Grammys.
ooh, oh, can we even compete with the Grammys?
Well, you can hear it. I'm trying to close the doors so we don't hear it. It's real loud.
Is my sound okay? Anyone that's watching? Sometimes when I have my phone on my leaning, it muffles my sound.
It's good for me.
Okay, good. So today broke me. Okay, I love that you're doing drugs right now. I just need a quick hit to get through this.
I do this by inhaler.
Oh, so funny.
What happened?
I'll take a hit.
What happened?
So we had a birthday party today for our friend Rachel's daughter Celie, and it was all neurodiverse kids, and then the siblings. It was wonderful. Like, I am so proud of Cooper. Oh.
The ever-loving, you know what? What is this?
This is nice. Thank you, whoever just sent that. That was so sweet.
I wish I could send something else.
Like a negative thing.
Like dog doo-doo being thrown at the screen for like $10. I'm going to suggest that to the Facebook team.
We're the only one that wants negative things.
Yes. You have to pay for negativity.
You have to pay extra. That's a genius thing. You can insult me, but you have to pay a lot to do it.
Yeah, look at my rain.
I did an Instagram live today to talk about my book thing, which I'm gonna tell these folks too.
Sure.
And I got spammed. So when you go live on Instagram, I got like 50 men from Iran that were like, it's really overwhelming. And some people, it doesn't bother them. It like makes me really anxious. And they talk about like my face and like they want to marry me and like make me their bride. And one guy was like, you need to floss your teeth. And then for the rest of the time I had to talk like this.
I don't have teeth.
No, I'm really paranoid.
But let's really ask the question. Did any of them request to join?
10. You have that many people. So
what's going on? It's like Grammy Awards over here on Kate's page.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Carrie, I'll let you know, I'm just finish the story really quickly. So for anyone that doesn't know, when you're on Instagram, people can and they do frequently like request to join your lives.
But you can
And one of
do that on Facebook.
well, I don't get it as rampant. Like on Instagram, there's always like 10 folks like to join.
Yeah, the naked people are
and
over there.
Here's what you don't know, and I never knew. So our friends Tara and Lauren did a live.
Hey.
And they let who they got in, and it was a naked man
Doing the flying squirrel, which I've gotten very good at.
And spreading things. And I'm not, there's no exaggeration here. There is like, I saw it with my own eyes. So now that.
Were you watching it in real time, Kate?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Darn it. I'm so jealous still.
Oh, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I've never watched really Instagram live. I think I can.
No, I don't either.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to pop on there. I wasn't on that thing for more than 10 seconds when they're like, oh, so-and-so's joining us. It was like a friend, but she must have clicked the wrong one. And it was a room like this with just a camera. And then this like man like hopped on and was like shaking it. And I was like, oh.
That's nuts.
Okay. And Lauren was like, stop. And like couldn't stop it. And it was probably like 30 seconds of cinematic gold.
Oh my God. Did they get banned?
No, but someone did.
Right. I mean, all I did was make a little tiny picture of a picture. I didn't show anything like this.
It's going to get you banned now. Now you'll be banned.
You can't get banned for a raccoon cat.
It was nice knowing you, Kate.
Shared a picture of amazing, sweet Lauren like this. And then the man dancing, but she covered up his, special parts.
Yes, I did.
His baby making parts. And she got in trouble for it. And the
whole week.
The thing that Adrian I was like, friend, did anything go through your mind? Like, stop, pause. And she's like, no.
I didn't. I didn't show anything. Have you seen the post that's going around where the woman is crawling through a window and she's upside down and her bosoms are flopping all around? Well, Facebook hadn't taken that down. You can see nipples.
That also cinematic gold.
Did not see that at all.
Oh, well, it's rampant.
I saw this great meme. It was like a stick with a teeny tiny stop sign on the top of it. And it was like, when my friend wants to do something that's not a good choice, but I'm curious how it'll turn out. Like, that's our stop signs, Kate. Like, stop. But let's just see how it goes.
This video, like, I was having the saddest day. I laughed for hours. Like, I couldn't stop laughing at their faces when he was doing the squirrel. But then he spread his cheeks, and then I was like,
oh, too far. That was your too far? That's so interesting.
That was my too far.
That was your limit.
We have
boundaries. We have, morals.
But the best part about the story is that means that there's people waiting around naked. He who knew when he was going to get requested. So, like, we need to test this.
Well, I know that's why I was wondering, why did you not test it today? Clearly, Carrie is not.
I don't want to do it alone.
Oh, well, you're not doing it with me.
Oh, they're not going to get you.
Adrian's your person for that.
Take some margaritas and just
I can't do anything else. Now I'm like, if I do something again, I'm banned for 90 days. I won't be able to send somebody to college.
It was the gift.
So do you know how long it's going to be when you're banned?
Well, this time I knew it didn't even go up. And there was no.
She didn't even post it.
Oh.
It
didn't even get posted.
So how do they know? I don't understand.
I went to post it and they were like, oh no, you're trying to post basically a man's legs and chest, and that's suggestive. So you're banned for a week.
But you knew they say a week.
Well, that time.
Okay.
But I've been banned like 48 hours before. It's been a while. But other times, I think sometimes people don't know.
But there's a video going around right now that Adrian sent me of a couple that were like talking, and they let someone on, and it was like the naked dancing man. I don't know.
The same name. She said it was the same naked man.
And no video's on. That's fine.
But I do get requests from people. I don't think they mean to hit it though.
That's what we thought until we saw the naked man.
Oh, man.
That's old ladies. But this actually, she said, was this person had a fake account that got her. It was like somebody they knew and admired, like oh, look, Finding Cooper's Voice wants to join our live. This will be fun. So it wasn't by accident. They were like excited, and then
It was orchestrated.
Because Lauren and Tara were like really excited. They were like, "Oh, that's
yes,
so and so." I
yeah,
never got the story.
yeah. Lauren told me, yeah. Bad.
Who is Lauren? I don't know who those two are. Are they?
So Tara from Peace, Love, and Autism, who
I do know that name.
Lauren from Channing's Joy, and they're buds, and they're just these amazing moms that are like really just sunshiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I check every day. They're just really sunshiny.
I know
Lauren,
the one account, but
Lauren
I don't
lives near me.
So, Adrian, that event that I'm keynoting in North Carolina, Lauren's speaking at it too. So you should reach out to her and just kind of ask her some questions because she's going to be there. They didn't want Adrian.
I know. I don't know why you brought that up. I'm going to Michigan. That's not near you, so it's okay this week.
Here we go.
Don't tease her. Why did you do that? I just got off with Dr. Grandin.
How was Dr. Temple?
It was lovely.
I've talked a few times during swim lessons.
Yeah, she's very, very she's very insightful. So, but it's like intense. Like I feel like it's an intense interview. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell my Temple story. I met her at an event in North Carolina. Actually, she was the keynote. And
spent a lot of time in North Carolina.
Apparently, I'm loved there. I'm really well liked. So I was there with Rob, the autism dad, who I adore.
Oh, I didn't know you met him. I really like him.
So we were there together, and I just not together. I mean, not together.
Okay.
I heard about
rumors spreads. No, we were there, and we were there to interview Dr. Grandin, and like he went first, and the interview was great. And then she sat down with me, and it was the same. She said all the same things. Like she speaks on a loop, but I was very. I felt like our autism was a little bit different, but there were still a lot of nuggets that I could pull out that really helped me.
I'm glad to hear that because that was a bit of a concern of mine tonight. Like my son Jack's profile is very different than many profiles, and I was hoping I could speak to the community at large. And I think you're right though. There's a lot of from scripting to anxiety to like small baby steps towards skill building. I mean, she covers a lot.
So one of the things that stuck with me is she told me that our kids' obsessions, whatever you want to say, try and turn them into a job. That's a big message of hers. So like if it's video gaming, she said there's a small leap from being really good at video games to being a mechanic.
Yes.
But I was asking her, so I said, Cooper takes photos. And this really resonated with me. She goes, does he take photos of all things or just things he likes? And I said, just things he likes. And she goes, when I started out as an artist, I only drew the things that I wanted to draw. And my first job, I got hired by a salon to make their logo and their sign or something like that. And she's like, I drew it how I wanted to draw it. And they didn't like it. And that's when it clicked for her. I have to draw what other people like. So she encouraged Cooper, and I don't think it'll work, but take photos of other things.
Right. Even if that just expands the way he looks at the world a tiny bit, that's important.
And a big message she had at this time, to something that had just, she said, let your kids go into convenience stores or gas stations alone. Did you check with that? She's like, stand outside the glass and watch them to make sure they're safe, but send them in, let them shop, let them pay. And I said, we can't do that with Cooper yet. He doesn't or any of that. But she goes, there are a lot of kids that can. And she's like, she goes, she was big about how we coddle these kids. And I do think a lot of that's true.
Oh, 100%. And that's a big part of my message is untethering. If you have this certain kind of profile like I do. And she talked about the convenience store tonight. She also talked about, which I thought was amazing, and she and I talked about it on a phone call, how she counseled one family to let the son go use the bathroom by himself, like a public restroom. And she's like, I said to him, you don't look at anybody. Women talk. I thought this insight that she had was incredible. Women talk in restrooms. Men don't talk in restrooms. You find the urinal the furthest away and you look at the wall. And we struggled in not restrooms, but with Jack understanding locker room etiquette. And I thought that was so, that she could bring that point of view was fascinating.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hmm.
Do you guys want to do just introductions real quick?
Where are you, Adrian? You're in Miami?
Yes, I've come down here to spend a few days with my parents.
Very nice.
It is
Well, you go
really
first.
nice.
I just started watching Griselda. There's a big cocaine problem in Miami.
Really?
Stay away from it.
I heard of that.
I mean, it's new, but it's from years ago.
There's
But I
not
heard
any. There's
I
no cocaine problem in this house. I can tell
Okay.
you right now. Right now.
I worry about you. That's good. It's
I
good.
was just in Miami. It is people watching Central.
You were in South
I was
Beach too.
in South Beach. We blended right in, my friends and I, in our Amazon frocks. I mean, I saw more heinies. And at one point, my dear friend Audrey, we were walking through a club. I grabbed her arm because this woman's, I had never seen lips like this on a human being in my life. Like so much plaque. I mean, we were like, that would be one tube of lipstick just to go out. Cover.
Oh, yeah.
You might not eat as much if you're
I
a
was
literal.
thinking, do you think she can sip from a straw?
That's probably what.
Mhm. So I'm Adrian Wood. I have 4 children and a husband and live in North Carolina most of the time. I have 2 parents who I am trying to give a little attention to this week. So it's kind of different and hard. I left my kids at home, and that my little person Amos has autism and a genetic disorder. He's 10 and he really likes his mommy. And so it's always hard to leave, but important. And I'll just say this before we keep going on, but like I got here today and my mom was like, oh, I can cook or whatever. And I was like, let's ride up to this grocery store. It's called the Golden Hog. And it is fantastic. I mean, they have a burger bar, sandwiches, they're making cheesecakes, salad bar, like fresh prepared food.
Our grocery stores, yeah.
And right, okay, so just regular people grocery stores. It ain't the food line. But I've been saying to mom, like, don't cook, go up there and you can get asparagus. And they were like, well, we don't know how it works. Like, do you pay? Like, if you pay per pound for the ribs and the potatoes, how do you put them in the same container? I mean, just this.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were over. So I was like, Mom, let's just go up there and let's just walk around. And we did. We walked around and I was like, I'm going to get a salad and then I'm going to get this for later. And she was like, okay. And my mom's pretty, like Carrie's met her, pretty adept.
Very.
But I just think sometimes it's just too much, anyway. So it's nice to be here and like with her phone just to kind of, just do some things like that. So anyway.
Isn't it eye-opening too how somebody like Jack or our kids would navigate something like that?
Oh, I mean, I don't see that ever happening in my house.
Yeah.
But yes, I bet Jack and my mother and my dad and Jack would be very similar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jack would probably dump everything into one container. I'm not sure how he would do that, to be honest, but
it would be good. It is good when, as you were saying, good to find things to practice where you are. I was thinking like for the bathroom, for me, is going in the bathroom with Amos, but letting him go in the stall alone.
We just started back. We just started.
Yep.
Or I might go in. Recently, I went in the bathroom and he sat at the seat at the door. And I went in and he sat right there at the seat.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was like a bench and my daughter was outside. So I said, he's going to stay in, but she was kind of guarding the door, but he didn't know it, just to practice. Like, is he going to take off? And he sat there the whole time. Anyway.
We had a pediatrician that told us to practice, not autism related at all, but like, say your kids never hang up their jacket when they come in. It just drives you crazy, right? It's always on the floor. Well, when everybody's watching TV and enjoying themselves, you say, okay, we're going to turn this TV off now. We're going to go practice hanging up our jackets a few times. I never did it.
Oh, that's smart.
But it was pretty smart. I lied because just today we have this basement door. The basement's finished. And every time somebody comes up, they leave the door open and it's sort of like in the way. So I called Henry over and he was doing a preferred activity. And I'm like, come over here. Can you show me that you know how to close this door a couple of times?
You can't get through when the door is open. That's the
Right.
same thing at my house.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's easy to do.
Do any of your kids leave the cupboards open?
I leave the cupboards open.
Okay, so I can tell exactly what Sawyer does because like he'll like open the one to get a glass.
Yeah.
Must get water, and then he'll leave the snack cupboard open. Like you could trace his path.
We're trying to conserve our energy in case we want another snack.
It's a sign of intelligence. I read that somewhere.
Yes, it is.
I smoked one time.
I knew this.
It's like the top of another cupboard. Yeah. It's chips in the cereal, and I smoked my head on it. I was so mad. I like saw Jesus, and I was like, ah!
I will say, I don't do it in the kitchen. I do it in my bathroom for some reason, like while I'm getting ready and getting stuff out. But I'm good in the kitchen.
Carrie, do your intro.
I am Carrie Carriello, married to a man named Joe. He's about 8 feet away from me right now. We have 5 kids, and our second son, Jack, is diagnosed with autism. Jack is 19. He'll be 20 in May, but still blows my mind. And he's diagnosed with autism. He lives in a college program right now, so he is mid-launch, as we say. I just I have a new book out, Half My Sky, Autism, Marriage, and the Messiness That Is Building a Family. And I just finished recording the audio last week, but it'll take a little bit before it's processed and uploaded and all those good things. So happy to be here.
Okay, I have 2 announcements before we hop into it. We'll be on my supporter page right after. So if you want to see our private discussion where we talk more about the flying squirrel, definitely.
Is that the topic?
We don't want to tell you too soon or you won't join us.
Well, right.
And the paperback version of my book comes out in March. Look at Cooper.
Oh.
Bonus chapter, which brings the reader from when the hardcover came out to today. And my publisher really wants me to sell some of these books, so I'm doing my due diligence. If you plan on ordering and you want a signed copy, I'll even personalize it if you order from this bookstore. I just pressed the comment, should show up right now. So if you click that and order from there, put in the notes who you want it personalized to, you will get that copy in the mail.
Is that a different photo? Yeah, than the one on the hardcover.
Yeah.
Yep. So so look at how I actually just showed this to Cooper on a video, and he thought it was so cool.
Oh yeah.
This is 8 months.
And I love the new photo.
I do too.
Do you want to know what's funny about this?
Remember when you got those pictures taken?
They changed his shirt color.
Oh, well, I was thinking he did not wear that color when you got those pictures taken.
No, it was brown. Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
But yellow's my color. Yellow's I'm obsessed with yellow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I think you should have something yellow in every room. It's like a weird thing of mine.
Oh, I have yellow too.
I
in orange. I have a yellow stool on the porch. Yeah, I'm into yellow. I'm moving into orange now.
But this would be a great gift. So if you're looking for a gift for somebody like a teacher or a therapist, it'd be great.
And I think I read the
I read the bonus chapter.
No.
Did I? You or no?
You didn't read it yet, Carrie, but you helped my Winnie part.
That's it. That's it. We talked about it. About it. Yeah.
Struggling to find a way to say, I've realized now that grieving and accepting and encouraging and all the parts of autism, I'm doing it alongside my other children now. So you help me with that. Like almost the whole bonus chapter, really, it's about the 3 other children.
Yes. Yeah. And the leapfrogging. We in our community, we call it the leapfrogging, where they leapfrog over each other in development.
Yeah. And we had a period of time, I go in depth about this, a week of time. I don't know what it was but Sawyer cried every day about autism. It was like 5 full days. And we actually got him in therapy after just because he had big feelings and he didn't know how to share them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that part was coming. So yeah, I'm excited. So my topic, I thought I would tell you guys what happened to me at my event in North Dakota.
Oh yes, we had a little insider preview, but
So I just drove 5.5 hours to North Dakota. I'm always doing 5.5 hour drives. I don't know how. I don't know how to Google the distance before I agree to things.
I just said that to Joe today. Yes.
That's the first thing I do.
Well, Fargo is only like 3.5 hours. I'm like, oh, that's no big deal. But it was an hour and a half after that.
Ooh,
I
it
cannot
would make
drive
it
that far.
different though. And not for me driving, but I literally just said to Joe, I should really research like how many flights I'm going to have to take to get there. Like our airport's an hour from us, and then you take 2 flights, and then you got to drive an hour to the venue. Like I just need to have a handle on that.
I'm 2 hours and 20 minutes from an airport.
Well, and the thing is, this is not coming from a snobby place. It's coming from a self-preservation place. I have to fly direct. If I have to, I've been very lucky that I haven't had to switch planes anywhere, but maybe MSP is bigger than your airports.
We have Boston Logan, but I'm still connecting.
But you can't, like when I go to Savannah, there ain't any flying to Savannah. You have to go through Charlotte. From Raleigh.
I think the worst airport on this earth is Atlanta, Georgia.
I never know.
Oh yeah.
Charlotte is number 2. Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't mind Charlotte, but I've always stopped at that bar. There's like a certain bar that I've stopped at every time.
They're always
Newark. I saw somebody in Newark once washing their hair in the bathroom sink.
Oh, I've done that.
Okay, so
seriously.
So
we've taken showers in the airport. We have the stomach bug.
Oh, well, like Joe has access to one of those. What is it? He can't hear me, but where you can get into one of those lounges that has showers.
It's the American Airlines Club. Yeah, we were
like
throwing up in there.
In there on our way home from Miami. It is awesome. No, this was just the regular Newark bathroom, like on the concourse. All right, tell us.
I'm only like 6 hours driving from Chicago. And this is another story. And I just went to Chicago, and my girlfriend and I flew. But there's like this saying or this meme that's like, I love you, but not enough to bring you to O'Hare. That it's like the worst airport.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It takes like an hour. Okay, so I was in North Dakota. I was in a very rural, which I don't have a problem with. I grew up rural. I think, and I'm often thanked for speaking to these communities that don't often get speakers. And, you know, I
need to know what word are you saying?
Oh,
say
rural.
No, let Kate say it. What are you saying?
What are those things that you wear on your head in the winter?
A toboggan?
Rural? How do you get
rural?
Well,
rural.
Country. Let's switch over. Country, please.
Country. The land.
Not populated.
When I drove in, there was a pack of wild buffaloes. And then there was a sign. I texted you guys buffalo. Yeah. And there was a sign that you could like touch their. Thank you, Heather. Rural. I get it. So I presentation when I was there, and lovely people, definitely very stoic and very hard. And I consider myself to be quite the comedian. Like, I think of us three, I'm obviously the funniest.
Yeah, that's something you should say about yourself. You should wait till people say it.
But no, I don't think I'm funny at all. But I was making.
You are funny.
Well.
Oh yes, you do think you're funny, and you know it.
Just give me a microphone, you know. But I was cracking my good ones. I actually was texting these two in the mid-presentation. I'm like, this is very serious.
Did they laugh when you told like an autism joke?
One of the jokes that I tell is that Cooper used to be a hoarder and like a stealer of photos. He loves photos. And this is a true story that one day his therapist pulled me aside and was like, we have a situation. Cooper brought some photos of you to school. And I was like, oh, what were they? You know, thinking like nice photos. And one, she said I was a naughty nurse. And the other one, I was taking a beer bong out of a plastic flamingo, which is a flamingo. And I go, well, he likes to see me happy. And then she came right back and she goes, well, but there was one of you giving birth to. And I was like, oh. But that's funny. Carrie's laughing.
Yes.
So about halfway through the presentation, this man started pacing in the back. He was pacing back and forth. And he was wearing all black and a black backpack. And he was probably in his late 40s. And I mean, I'm looking at the crowd, so like I can see him. And then the tables were in front of me and then the podium. And I bet there were people sitting like, I'm not good with distance, but like 10 feet in front of me. So the tables went far out. Okay. And at one point he walked around and went and sat right here. So like I couldn't touch him. I mean, he was like 10 feet that way, but he was directly to the side of me. And he took his backpack off and he took his coat off and he didn't sit. And then he put his backpack back on and people were like shifting. Like we were.
Now, did you think he had a disability?
Nope. I thought he would kill me. And I'm not being exaggerating at all or being funny.
And my horse would have gotten off that stage.
I started like backing up. The whole thing was probably like 3 minutes of the shiftiness. So I was like, okay, maybe we're okay. And then he came running at me, and you can ask anyone in the room, and he had his hands up like by his head. And I was like, nope. And I actually, I know what I said? Nope. I go, dude, freaking me out. That's what I said.
Well,
that was how I talked.
Probably a good thing to say.
Yeah, interrupt.
That sort of de-escalates the situation.
Like, on his heels, and he goes, I'm not going to hurt you. And he had a note, and he shoved it into the podium. And then he ran back, got his backpack, left the room, like ran straight out. And like Anna, no one spoke. Like we were.
Did he have his clothes on? Anna just asked.
He did. And so I recovered, but I said into the microphone, I'm like, that was terrifying. Like I was like, that was terrifying. So afterwards, like everyone came up to me and they're like, we thought he was.
Did they know him?
One person knew him. I'm not gonna give any details out, but the note was like directing me to this under like black web website about being an autistic, a dad of an autistic child.
You shared it with us though, right? Because the handwriting was like remarkably good.
Yeah.
It was the man's handwriting.
Yeah, I think.
I would think.
His son's name, his son's age, and then it said, help me help others. Yeah. And then his name, phone number, email, and then this website. But it was, and the other part that was really scary is that like, I was staying at this hotel and like, I don't feel like the front desk was like knowledgeable enough. They like actually had a sign that the desk wasn't manned after like 10 p.m.
Oh. So was the event at the hotel or no?
Both days. Oh. So Thursday night and Friday. And the Friday one was awesome. It was to this group of special educators for North Dakota. It was wonderful, like wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was some definite mental illness going on. So, but I've never had anything like that happen.
That's terrifying. I think I would have been out of there driving home. Oh no, but you had to go back the next day.
And there's no 5.5 hours.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But I just don't understand how that could happen. It was like really scary. It was really scary.
Everybody in the crowd was kind of like, let's pull him back.
The crowd was very uncomfortable, but like it was all women of a certain, and what I mean by that is like, these were very sweet ladies. I don't think that we're going to like hop in and like take a bullet for me.
Right. Right.
They didn't like,
did you have to be there?
What was that?
Did you have to register? Like, did the attendees have to register to go? Yeah. That's so crazy.
Yeah. So that was a lot. That really took some wind out of my sails. Okay. I think.
I'm glad to be home after that.
Yeah.
I had an exciting flight today.
Oh, how about that?
So I've never been on a plane and we couldn't land because of bad weather. Has that ever happened to y'all?
Once in Buffalo.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we were like, bouncing around, and I was thinking, this is not good. They said, well, we're landing in, and usually when they say that, it's like 15 minutes because I come down here a lot. And I look out and all I see is like nothingness. And I'm thinking, we are not in Miami. Well, another 20 minutes goes by. And I'm like, we've been hijacked. Where are we going? He's like, this is your captain speaking. The airport in Miami is closed.
Oh,
and so we cannot land So they want us to circle, but we don't have enough gas,
Oh
enough
no.
Stop. Too much,
fuel. No, I promise you.
too much information.
No,
Yeah.
it was brilliant, because then he said, we're flying to Fort Myers, which is like 2.5 hours on the West Coast. But you ain't fussing when somebody tells you you're about to run out of gas
Right.
in an airplane over a
You'll
bunch of
go with
alligators.
oh,
You know,
So
you're totally like, yes. Well, the people behind me, I mean, this is funny. They're like, what? We're going to Barbados. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. And I said, you know what? You don't live in North Korea.
oof.
you always pull that North Korea out.
It's very important. I think it's important for people to remember that they are not a disabled person living in North Korea on the street in the cold. People have got it worse than you.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, and so then everybody has to pee. So we get to Fort Myers, not me, because I can hold my bladder for like 40 hours. And they're all in line. Well, then the pilot's like, oh, now we can go to get the gas. Get in your seats. We're going to go to the gate. Well, they're all about to pee in their pants. So they're waiting in line. Well, the woman behind me starts yelling, the Barbados one, sit your asses down. Yelling.
People lose their
Oh,
on
they
planes.
lose their minds.
It's like a whole different world on planes. There's no rules.
Well, I tried to be kind, because she said, we haven't been anywhere in 10 years. And I said, why haven't you been in anywhere in 10 years? Because I'm thinking maybe she has something really hard at home. She goes, well, we have 4 children. I said, well, how old are they? Well, they're 26, 23, 8, and 9. And I said, well, do any of them have cancer or anything? She said, no. And I was like, well, you have another thing to be thankful for. I think you're going to be fine.
How was she reacting to you when you said these nuggets of wisdom to her?
Well, the lady beside me was dying laughing, so that made it wonderful.
So
She
were you
just,
leaning over the seat, like turned around?
no, I was sitting because the middle seat was empty.
Oh.
So I was sitting sideways so I could like peer at her through the thing. I mean, I just could not handle it. And there was a family and their daughter has a disability and she was on the plane. And I was thinking, what if something happened? Like, what if she needs to go to the restroom and you're yelling, sit your arses down? Well, just like I was trying to be kind to her, like, did she have some
Right.
problem why she needed to get to Barbados? But this family, and I told this earlier on the plane, and y'all might have heard this, but this family, their daughter was in a wheelchair. And whenever I see a family, I think we're probably all like that. I'm like, oh, hi, hey, introduce myself. I have a, son who's 10 and has autism. And y'all want to get a cup of coffee? And they're like, yeah. Well, I go to get my coffee and I come back and I can't understand her speech. And her mother says, you know what? And she says it again and she goes, she watches your videos.
That's incredible.
Oh, Adrian, that's awesome.
So 30-year-old Amanda, they're getting ready to go on a cruise. They just went to Australia for her birthday. And she was just great. And I thought of, about what you said. I think we've all talked about this presumed competence. And I really feel like I do presume competence, but I didn't, because I did not expect that. I was kind of dumbfounded. So anyway, that was that made for a nice morning.
Yeah.
What the presumed competence thing means, I don't know who told me that. Someone said that to me.
I don't know where I heard it either, but I like it.
It's like, we don't know what Cooper knows. People always ask me, can he read? Does he understand? What percentage of what you say does he get? And a lot of times I know, and a lot of times I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the big one was, did he know I was pregnant? Did he understand that a baby was coming? That was the big one. And I was like, I presume competence. And I'll tell you, he would show me that he understood. He would show me like pictures of like Peppa Pig's brother George crying or different things like that. So just because he can't speak doesn't mean he doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And I always look at it as, you'll never regret assuming they are taking in more than they are, but you'll regret speaking to them to a level that's beneath their benchmark of understanding. So I don't think you can ever go wrong with presuming that they're further ahead.
Mm-hmm. That's a good note. I struggle with leaving town. If you tell Amos something, it really undoes him. But then I don't like to leave and not tell him because I feel like that's a bad way to live, to constantly wonder if somebody's just sneaking out on you, you know? And so this trip, I didn't talk about it a lot, but I did say twice, mommy and daddy are going to spend the night. And, he was furious. And then the next day, he came up and saw my suitcase, kind of like how a dog does, when you're trying to pack.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Mommy is not leaving. And I said, Well, Mommy's going with Daddy. And he, went downstairs and I think it was I felt good about it. He didn't have a meltdown, but he knew I was leaving, but he didn't want to discuss it.
Mhm.
It was anyway.
I think it's great. And I do think it'll get easier for you.
I hope so. I feel like he wants to get back in my womb.
It's gotten better.
More so than before. Like, is this intensifying his attention?
It's always been like even before he was like 3 and couldn't speak, and we would have the cutest like teenage babysitters, and I would walk in the door or he would walk in the door, the babysitter would take him to do something fun, and he'd come in and he'd see me, and smile, and then he'd start walking and pushing the babysitter to the door.
Yeah.
Nice, fun babysitters, it's me. But if I'm not home, he really will gravitate towards Big Thomas.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's, oh, Daddy, I missed you. He kind of takes what he says to me and puts it on him, which he likes.
So is Big Thomas with you now? Or
No,
he
no.
went back?
No, he's at home. We had spent the night in Raleigh last night. Our middle son came for a dance, and we went to a party. So he went back home, and I came down here.
Nice. And how long are you down there?
The Wednesday.
Oh, very nice. Is the weather? We had perfect weather in Miami.
It was obviously yuck today. I think it's going to be nice. We don't have any. I'm really I've obviously I'm working on trying to finish our diagnosis chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really enjoyed writing that chapter.
Are you still writing it on your phone?
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Amy brings that up like once a day. Like, I'll make fun of you, of course, or something. I'll say something about you, and he's like, she writes books on her phone.
I've never written anything not on my phone ever.
Wow.
I couldn't write my book on my phone.
No,
Why?
I'm trying to transition. I have a laptop that's massive.
I have 2 phones now in case one dies.
Do you work on an iPad, Kate? I'm trying to transition so I can travel with just my iPad.
No, I have a Microsoft Surface Pro, and I have bought over the years like 3. I keep sticking with this computer.
Okay.
But I have to bring all my own adapters and stuff when I present because everyone is in the Apple world. But I love this computer.
That's interesting. I do
really
love
light. And so let me just show you how thin. I know everyone probably knows this, but it's really light. One hand.
I have a MacBook Pro, and that thing is heavy.
That's what I have, and I took it out on the plane when I traveled, and the guy was like, "Could you get anything bigger to fit on this plane?" I was like, "Excuse me, sir."
Well, I should have gotten a stationary desk one, but I don't know how to type properly. I never learned to type.
You would think a debutante would learn how to, and that would be part of your programming.
No, we learned, how to eat soup out in, way out to sea, back to me. Asparagus, picking up with your finger, never a fork.
Really?
But not typing.
Really? Asparagus? Are you lying?
No.
Asparagus with your finger?
Your food?
We're gonna have a little debutante lesson together.
That's the second time she's mentioned asparagus in our time together tonight. Thanks.
Can I say?
I love asparagus.
Does your pee smell when you eat asparagus? Okay, so do you know that doesn't happen to everybody? I heard about it. Yeah, but it's not everybody. It's like
that's just because some people are lying.
Oh, they don't admit it.
That's so funny.
Funny asparagus. This is interesting. You know how asparagus is supposed to be just like mildly, is it al dente? Just mildly. I put mine so it's so crisp. I like mine like really cooked in the air fryer with like salt, pepper. So mine would be like
Oh, like mushy.
Like from a can.
No, not that mushy.
We don't have an air fryer. Can you believe it? And I'm not.
I haven't cooked asparagus in the air fryer. Do you do it on air roast or air
It
fry?
has air fryer, roast. There's like 4 different ones. I do air fryer at like 350 for like 8 minutes.
The thing cooks so fast.
So
it is like,
It sits on
Carrie,
counter.
it is amazing. We had Russell cooked steak in it, and it was incredible.
I'm going to be weird here. Our air fryer has changed our life. Like, I'm not being, it's like,
I love it.
we're healthy eaters. And I will tell you, our air fryer, like, just like exploded our even, because you can eat, there's no roasting in the oven anymore and preheating.
And it's so fast. Like vegetable, I'm like, well, I'm not going to cook vegetables because I started too late.
Yes.
Yeah.
But does it sit on your counter? I'm really weird about
Mine.
So I'm weird about counter space too. I have a dual one.
Mine
Dual.
folds up under the counter. My friend Lisa, who's, very like woof stovish, was like, this is the one she has. So it sits in the back and it folds up so you don't see it.
Oh,
And there's a lot.
Ninja.
We don't get like super creative either. Like we do a lot of vegetables. We'll do like chicken nuggets, tenders, that sort of thing. But if you like dig into air frying, like you can make desserts. You can make, just anything. I've heard it hard boils eggs. Have you ever done that?
No.
wow.
Yeah.
I think
We've done chicken wing. Chicken wings are good.
we have so many kitchen things because that was all you could get Jack for a gift for years. Valentine's Day, wanted a frying pan, a panini press. We have a s'mores maker. I have a whole basement stored
Maker.
full of. We have a popcorn maker.
Amos would like all that stuff.
Do you have a
That's
rice?
a good idea.
If you have the rice one, we had a rice one. We've gotten rid of all those things.
A rice cooker?
Yeah.
I've always wanted one, but they're so big.
They're so big. I have a wok. I just have so much stuff, and I'm out of.
Okay, here's a question for you. How many crock pots do you have? Because Midwestern people have a lot. We have like 4.
Oh, I only have one, and I don't use it often.
I have one, but I would like to.
I have a really small one for like queso dip or something if I was having.
I used to have that one, but I
love it. And then I have a medium one, and then I have a really big one if I do like if I want to keep ribs warm or if I want to make like a big hot dish.
But do you know what we do have, which we love? A warming drawer. When we redid our kitchen,
yes.
And that also works as a slow cooker if I was so inclined. But I do.
My warming drawer is full of pans.
Oh, I can see how that can.
I don't know if I have. I don't even know if that.
Beneath your oven and you pull it out. I would go in there, but there's teenagers in there, and you just turn it on low. It doesn't cook the food. Your food's already cooked, but it keeps everything warm.
Warm.
I have a commercial cotton candy machine.
Oh,
Heather.
I love that.
Chickpeas in the air fryer with curry powder. Ooh, I bet that's
One of my
good.
HelloFresh meals had roasted chickpeas. I forgot. You just reminded me. That was one of the best things I'd ever made. You roasted them with like salt and pepper and different things. It was so good.
Yeah, I never had dinner yet. You're making me starving.
I know. I haven't either. Do you ever do parsnips? I had a friend bring me parsnips one time. Yeah. So they're good.
Oh.
I don't have an Instant Pot. I don't know if I would use that.
No, I never got into that.
We like to let it sit all day in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to take about 10 hours to cook things.
We live in rural areas.
See, but I don't smell anything for 10 hours and then eat it. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't struggle
either.
I get overwhelmed easily. Like one time we made something overnight in the crock pot, and by the next morning, and I don't remember.
Is that safe?
I guess.
Well, that's how Jack died in This Is Us.
Well, that was a faulty crock pot. But yes, we're back in. I probably still have the same crock pot when we first got together.
We have Jamie's from college.
Yeah, we have ours. Joe had to glue the handle back on.
Jamie had a crock pot in college.
Okay, before we hop off, this will really make you laugh. Him and all of his buddies were hunters and fishers.
Yes.
And so they would have wild game feeds. Mm. And okay, so you're not that shocked. Okay, so when I first met him, he'd invite me over, and they would be like whatever they had in the freezer, they would like have in the crock pot and deep fry it. They would do a lot of deep frying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that.
I do like squirrel. Squirrel in Brunswick stew is good.
Squirrel just came
So
up
is rabbit.
on my other
Yeah.
live. So I dated a guy, my first boyfriend. He lives with his grandma Carol, and they would all go squirrel hunting, and she would cook dinner, and she would have a sheet pan, and she would lay the squirrel out like the actual body, and that's how it come out of the true story.
I've never cooked a squirrel, but I've just eaten one by accident. But the rabbit is good.
Or rabbit.
I don't like duck.
Oh,
Unless it's
I like-
Peking duck I like. But I'm talking about like Thomas going down duck hunting duck.
Oh, I like it prepared like in a restaurant.
Yeah, you ain't liking this
No.
duck.
Oh, I don't like
This is like
Do you guys?
I don't like
Deer?
Yeah, I don't mind deer like venison.
It's too gamey
sausage.
for me. It's too
It's
gamey.
good if you make it into sausage and just add a ton of pepper to it, you can't tell.
oh.
Hog sausage. I don't like wild hog sausage.
Oh, you are so rural.
I'm rural.
She's foul. She's foul.
Foul.
I'm only foul when I'm foul. I'm not foul. I'm happy and rural.
Okay, anyone have anything else before we hop on the supporter
No.
live? This was riveting content.
Always. Always.
Okay, everyone, we're going to hop over to my supporter page. If you're a supporter or want to be, you can click that link. Come join us and ask these ladies some questions.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about hogs.
What is
I'll
hog?
see you in 5.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.